Fatih Birol, who's Executive Director, International Energy Agency, joins in for a deeper understanding of the oil market dynamics. Good to have you, Mr. Birol. Supply chain issues seem to be hitting hard, leading to a big spike in crude prices. What is your own analysis on the same?
So first of all, I am not happy that my expectation that the prices would go up turned to be true. Because higher prices, as we experience today, about $77, is not a good news for the global economy, not a good news for the oil importing nations such as India. But my worry is now that there are many reasons why we may well see the prices may even go higher. First, on the demand side of the oil, we expect a strong oil demand growth. This year and next year, about 1.5 million barrels per day. Very strong compared to historical averages. But on the supply side, we are seeing that there are serious challenges. Number one, and the most important one, Venezuela, a major oil supplier, Venezuelan oil production, only within 2 years of time is halved from more than 2 million barrels per day to today around 1 million barrels per day, and we may well see more and more drop in Venezuelan oil production. Secondly, in many countries in the Middle East, there are serious geopolitical problems, domestic problems, which may well hamper their export and production capacities, and this is definitely not a good news, in addition to Venezuela on the supply side. To sum up, strong oil demand growth, serious questions on the important suppliers may well mean that we may see a further, I underline, further tightening of oil markets towards the end of this year, which in turn may well mean that there can be upward pressure on the oil prices.
Right. What are the forces at play telling you in terms of how prolonged could this rally be in crude?
I think in the next 6 months or so, I am afraid the situation of Venezuela suddenly and completely reversed would be rather an optimistic expectation. This is what I see today. But later on, we may well see oil coming from other countries. Even in the current period of time, it would be great if we see production increase coming from the OPEC alliance countries to have higher production and comfort the markets. This will be definitely something which will be good news for countries like India, China, other major oil importing countries, and for their economic stability.
Mr. Birol, what is the thinking at the OPEC level? What production levels would they see the output at? And also, is there any angle with the Saudi Aramco IPO being delayed?
So it is very difficult for me to know what is the thinking in OPEC countries. But what I would like to see is the head of the International Energy Agency talking with many governments around the world, as I had a wonderful, fruitful discussion with Minister Pradhan here. I would like to see that the production from the OPEC countries do increase, especially in the next few quarters to come, to comfort the markets and not to put further pressure on the prices. When it comes to Saudi IPO question, this is of course something to be discussed with the Saudi authorities, but I am very much supportive of the Saudi Arabia opening up its economy, diversifying its economic efforts. In fact, we are very soon coming out with a major report about the need of major oil-producing countries need to diversify their economies slowly but surely in order to address some of the challenges that their economies are facing today and maybe facing more seriously in the next years to come.
So what are the key monitorables from now on? What should crude oil watchers keep an eye out for?
Yes. In the oil markets, I think what we have to look very carefully is we have to see how the oil demand is moving. If it moves as strongly as we expect, this is definitely a pressure factor. Second, if the Venezuela decline is somehow slowed down, this will be a good news. But Venezuela is something to watch for. And also the geopolitical developments in key Middle East countries, in Iran, Libya, also in Nigeria, in Iraq, they are all to be watched. But my wish is to see Saudi Arabia and its allies to increase the production. I will be watching it closely, and I hope to see more oil, more volumes to come from Saudi Arabia to comfort the markets and to put a downward pressure on the price increase trend what we are experiencing today.
Right, consumption trends at the large consumers end, like India and China, for example, how do you see them panning out?
I think when we look at the IEA numbers, we see that the two major drivers of oil demand growth worldwide is China and India. This is driven by the mobility, by cars, trucks, but more and more by the petrochemical industry. It's a major use of oil. And on top of that, in both of these emerging giants, we are seeing that the aviation jets are playing an increasingly more role in the higher oil demand growth. So we are sure that India and China, with their increasing economic activity, with the strong population growth prospects, and more and more putting emphasis on petrochemicals, they will continue to drive the global oil demand growth in the next years to come.
Mr. Birol, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you this morning. Thanks very much for taking out the time.